Leon Spindon the third. How are you, brother?
Leonard, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, we're gonna be reviewing round three of the ATV MX series at
Mhm.
Echeconnee MX in Georgia.
Connie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hate it when I can't talk, but I can't pronounce words that I don't see very often either. But
Right.
it is. I was talking to you on Friday before the
hmm
race, and we looked at the weather report, and you said maybe rain on Saturday,
hmm
possible rain on Sunday, and it seemed like it held off and got all the good races in on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, the weather really held out on Saturday all day, and then it wasn't until Saturday night we saw some precipitation, and then Sunday as well we saw some precipitation throughout the mainly later morning on Sunday.
Was it heavy?
We got a decent amount on Saturday. And then throughout Sunday, it was just kind of once it started, I think it said it was supposed to rain at about 1 p.m. and it started raining it was about noon 30, but it was just kind of a constant sprinkle. So it added up. But before that on Sunday, I mean the track really shaped up for what we got for rain Saturday night. The track was in really good shape on Sunday, but of course, once it kept coming down, I mean, it you had some muddy motos out there, but it was muddy sand, so it could have been worse at the same time.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Man, how was the track overall for you guys on Saturday though?
Well, so Friday I said that they're doing a really good job. They kept grooming it and the track was in really good shape. On Saturday, they didn't really groom as much, and that track, it got rough. I mean, obviously it was sand, so it moved a lot. The corners got deep. A lot of you basically all your racing lines got pretty deep. The jump faces themselves held up very well, which I was really happy to see that. The jumps, none of the jumps really got scary or deformed. So you could hit those pretty much all weekend long, but in between the jumps, it got pretty rough.
Well, you were racing motocross, right?
Right, right. But yeah, it was
Or
like
were you
my
racing or were you racing new school motocross with groomed freeway tracks?
well, that's what we had on Friday. Yeah.
Uh, the only reason I say that is because I come from the era when they didn't groom motocross tracks.
Right, right.
They sent you out there on whatever it was and
hmm
you rode it and you just
Right,
smiled and enjoyed it.
right, right. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun, but I mean, like, such as myself, I was Moto 32 out of I believe there's 36 motos in a day.
Whoa.
So the track was pretty gnarly by the time I got out there.
So I'm taking it that you didn't have a whole lot of fun.
Oh, I still had fun. I wouldn't say that.
Maybe not as much fun as you wanted to have, though.
Well, I'd say, I mean, if we're gonna talk about the least fun day, I would say it'd be Sunday, but that was just because there was so much stuff to do in between the motos that it I got to catch a breath as we were going back to staging for the next moto.
Wow,
So
crazy.
yeah.
So, we start talking about our review of the Saturday races with the WMX, and
hmm
Casey Osborne gets the whole shot money and goes 1-1 again.
hmm
So her streak is still continuing from last year to this year. I think
Yeah.
it winning streak goes back into the year before that.
Yeah.
Um,
She had I believe it was a yeah, last in 2023, she had a perfect season.
yep.
So I believe the only thing that she could do to better herself this year is to not only get a perfect season, but to also lead every lap, which so far she has done that as well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie uh, Jackson went 2-2, and
Mm-hmm.
Olivia Turner went 3-3.
Right.
I believe those two ladies were on the podium last time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I'm pretty, yep. I believe that was your podium in Texas as well.
So I don't know if the gap was smaller or not. It doesn't seem like the other ladies are going to come back this year. I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Right, right. I don't think they really, well, I can tell you right now that we will not see Andrea on a bike at all this year. We might see her at a race.
Yes, she's having a baby.
She is having a baby.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Um, Gosh, how did I found out from one of their customers was
Hmm.
calling me about some questions about something else, and he let it slip because he was friends with her husband. And
Right.
out of the blue, she called me that same day, and we were
Hmm.
talking, and I told her congratulations. She goes, "How did you hear?" And I told her, and she was like, "Really?" So I guess
Yeah.
her husband let the cat out of the bag, and he wasn't supposed
Right.
to.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
so So that
No.
was kind
And
of funny.
right. Yeah. So very happy for them and very understandable that we will not see Andrea on a bike this year. As
Has
far
Keaton,
as
has Keaton
what's that?
been coming to the races?
They were at Daytona, but they were not in Texas. They were not in Georgia. We will see if I guess we'll see if we see them in Ironman.
Right.
So
Well,
mhm.
life changes, you
It
know.
does. It does. Yeah. You get married, get a baby on the way.
Didn't
Life changes
somebody
quick.
have an anniversary on Monday? Do you know those
Um,
people?
I think I do, but I wish I didn't. At least the husband, I wish I didn't know him.
Well, the wife, we all have sympathy for her. We pray for
Yeah.
her every day
Uh, yeah,
because we
she's a
don't know her husband.
sweetheart. I don't know what the hell she's doing with him.
Well, like most of our wives,
Yeah.
I didn't hide anything from my wife. So if she's mad because she picked me, it's on
Right.
her because I'm
Right.
the same guy from the beginning. I wasn't hiding anything.
Right, right. Yeah, no, she's actually upstairs getting baby shower invites ready. So,
Nice.
oh
That's
yeah.
pretty awesome. Congratulations and happy
Thank
anniversary.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, one
I
year
know this.
flew by.
I know that this is a uh, race report and not
Mhm.
a baby report anniversary show, but you have to keep it real with the people that are in your life. And
Right.
I know that you struggle to
Hmm.
spend enough time at home with your
Hmm.
wife, son, and
Right.
then you soon to be daughter.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Well, and since we're kind of on the family aspect of things, I don't know if you saw the news that came out today,
Joel
which is,
Hetrick, yep.
yep, yep, there's a third hat trick baby on the way.
I just seen that.
Yeah.
Maybe we ought to buy Joel a book so he can understand how that happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Man, three babies. He's
Right.
a tough guy right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or
He's gonna be busy.
or is she's the tough one? I'm not sure yet. You know,
I
he,
think it's
he
a
has a fun
mix.
job. He gets to go ride his ATV and she gets to take care of the
Right.
kids.
Right.
Congratulations to the Hetricks. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
more the
So,
merrier.
but I tell you, you want to talk about another dominant force. I mean, our WMX class and our pro class this year is just it's
We'll get into the,
insane.
we're going to
Yeah.
get into pro class here shortly. Let's talk about pro sport.
Yep.
And there's a head-to-head battle that not a lot of people are talking about. I don't even think they realize this battle is going on not only in pro sport, but it's still going on in pro am. Joey Norris and Jaden Laundeville are butting heads every moto, every class
Hmm.
that they ride in. And
Hmm.
Joey Norris seems to be taking it in the pro sport. I believe
Hmm.
he's won three out of
Yes.
the first three races.
Yep.
And Jaden's got second.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, Jaden's won the first moto and ended up third.
Hmm.
Joey won the second moto, and he was second.
It was actually the other way around. Um, Jaden got third. Jaden Jaden's got some working. He has some practice to do when it comes to his starts.
Okay.
He has this really good thing of starting about mid pack and then fighting his way up to the front. So that by the time he gets to a podium spot, the race is pretty much over. So he got third on the first moto after I believe he came out of the first corner in about 10th. Um, and I believe Pro Sport was 21 riders this weekend.
Yeah, they were
So
full gate.
yeah, very good turnout there. So that was first moto. I'm very proud of him. He did really well, coming back to third when the checkered went by on the first moto, I think he could have reached up and grabbed Brett Music by the jersey if he wanted to. So he was right there trying to get another spot at the end. And then in the second moto, he got a much better start, made some passes and won the second moto.
So if he would have got Brett in that first moto, he would have got the overall.
Yes, he would have snuck that overall. And
What happened to
uh,
Brett in the second moto?
so Brett in the second moto, Brett's very obviously we've known this for the last couple of years. Brett is very consistent in his starts. He is always out there in the fronts and usually battles for the entire moto. On the second moto, I don't know, it was right out of my line of vision, so I don't know if he crashed and then he blew a front bead of it on the one of the tires, or if he blew the bead off the tire and that made him crash. But he tipped over in a corner, and
Oh,
then, yeah, and then, like I said, he had a front, I think it was a front right tire that blew off the bead. So
he went
it's
218, I think it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Uh,
So
See, everybody, I did my homework before this
right.
and wrote all my information down
Mhm.
and remember some of the stuff that I actually read. We need a big shout out, congratulations to Juan because
Yeah.
it's from Argentina and I believe it's Buenos Aires, and
Mhm.
he was third and he was on the
Mhm.
podium. He finished fourth and fifth, for the
Yes.
third because
Yep.
after Joey and Jaden, the finishes were all mixed up.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
guys that were in
Absolutely.
the other than Joey and Jaden, everybody else had mixed up their finishes to where they were way back.
Right, right. Yeah, it's crazy how, and there's been a lot of people that I have heard say this. The pro am and pro sport classes are kind of the most competitive and most exciting classes to watch this year.
I would have to say they are because I'm
Mhm.
not taking anything away from Joel Hetrick. I'm not taking anything away from Osborne.
Mhm.
Run away and dominate. Okay, it's
Mhm.
great to watch once in a while, but not every time.
Mhm. Mhm.
If I'm back there, I'm watching that battle for second because,
Yeah,
Bryce Ford and Hogue are just beating each other to death for that spot. And then
right.
you drop back a little bit, and there you've got eight guys going for the fourth place, and
Mhm.
you never know who's going to come out where. But we
Absolutely.
we got ahead of ourselves again.
Right.
Again,
Yeah, no, I mean it's in that pro sport class. I mean it's Norris and JJ, they're both very good, very talented riders, and I think it's going to be some very good battles this year. And Brett's, I hope that I didn't get a chance to talk to him after that on Saturday, but I hope that everything is okay with him. I do know that he is still healing from a rib injury from Daytona, but once he is always right there in that top three battle as well, and it seems like for the past 3 years he is always right there.
right?
So
I mean,
we can't count him out. And again, obviously he has some work to put in as long as he is feeling healthy enough to do so. and it's going to be a very good year. And we are 2 races in. We've got a lot of time left. We've got what, 7 races left right now, and a lot can happen.
Yeah, totally. But you look at Pro-Am, your guys that are racing for third, same two guys, Launderville and Norris.
Mm-hmm.
Norris had a bad, first round of the
Yep.
Pro-Am, but he
Yep.
came back, and they swapped. Jaden ended up third, but they swapped positions in that. He could have
Mm-hmm.
easily been Joey on the podium.
Right. Right.
You it seems that if Launderville gets in front of Joey, it's hard for Joey to get around him. And if Joey
Mm-hmm.
gets in front of Launderville, it's going to be hard for Launderville to get.
Right. Right. Well, I think the big thing there is, you know, we've talked about this before, is it is Norris's first year in these longer moto classes. So it just seems like once we get, especially in Pro-Am, once we get trucking along into the longer moto, it just seems like he's not used to a longer moto like that, and it shows later in the moto.
Yeah, but at the end of the year, it's going to change because he's going to get
Right.
accustomed to it. You know, Mason Jackson and Kevin Saar are duking it out for that Pro-Am title. It looks like they're
Right.
both serious. Now they're 1-1 on wins, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're even on points. Jackson's probably got the point lead.
I believe Mason has it just by a little bit. Yes.
Right, because he's got 3 moto wins and
Mm-hmm.
Saar has 1 moto win.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep. Yeah, and it's those two again. I mean, it shows the work that they put in this off season, and that they're just all their time that they're putting in on Saturday in the pro motos is pulling off for them, because both of them, both motos on Sunday, they got really good starts, and that was it.
isn't Music still doing SARS stuff?
Sar is riding, yeah, he is still riding for the music team, correct.
That's good because he wouldn't be here without him.
Right, right.
That's pretty awesome that they take care of
Mhm,
him and help him out.
mhm.
And he's a fan favorite too because he's a really nice guy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's a very cool guy.
I looked at the results in the pro class, and Mason got seventh and rode really well. He's a rookie.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, Kevin didn't fare so well in the pro class.
Yeah.
He was out of the top 10 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
Um, there's a little bit of difference in the way the motos finished for the pro guys out of that top three. The top
Hmm.
guys were perfectly consistent from
Hmm.
fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. These guys were all over the map.
Right.
Lindquist, it's there again. The way they add these things up, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Lindquist
Yeah.
ends up with a fourth, and Janus ends up with fifth. This time I see it the other way, but hey,
Hmm.
whatever.
Right. Right.
They got to
Yeah,
keep
and it was
however they.
that's another rider to talk about is Max. I mean, he was doing very, I believe he was running in second on the first moto, got stuck on a berm, I don't think he was dead last, but he was really close to last, pulled himself back up to a decent finish anyways. And then that second moto got a really good hole shot, was running second for the longest time. And then towards the end, he started getting passed. But I mean, he rode a very good race this last weekend.
I think after Max's year last year, where it was, self turmoil, I think, you know,
Mm-hmm.
growing pains, instead of that sophomore season having growing pains, he had
Right.
more of his growing pains in his third year.
Yeah.
And this year he's finally settling down. And I
Hmm.
believe Max has got the skills to run up in that top three group. I really do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the other thing too is, you know, he's not he's not all racing and training and everything every day, he's working this year. He's in between rounds, he's going back to Wisconsin and he's working 40 plus hours a week.
That might be better for his mental state.
It very possibly could be. And I think that's the other thing too, is he's working to earn that money to go racing this year.
Right.
So, and it's kind of like with Joel. I mean, he is out there and he's going to go 1-1 as much as he possibly can, because if he is doing that, he's putting dinner on the table at night.
Right. I mean, and that's the difference that a lot of people don't understand. When you break into the pro class, it's money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
reason Joel Hetrick does what Joel Hetrick does is
Right.
because that's how he's feeding his family.
Right.
Oh, you can't take Brandon Hogue, same thing. He's meal to meal, you
Brandon
know?
Hogue, Jeffrey Rastrelli. Yeah, I mean, all these guys. Like this is how they are trying to make a livelihood.
Right. And it's tough.
Mhm.
Janusa, I believe, has a job too,
I believe he does now. Yes.
you know, and Rastrelli's got his own business, so
Hmm.
he's trying to take care of it.
Hmm.
I don't remember. They have a family, don't they?
Jeffrey?
Yeah. Doesn't he have?
Yes. Yeah. Him and his wife have a very young daughter. She is 4 or 5 months old now.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Happens in the best of families, right?
right, right.
You just never know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the guys in the pro am, the pro sport, they're fighting their way to the pro class or seeing where they're going to come out. You know,
Hmm.
most of them have family members that are helping them along.
Correct.
They still get some help from sponsors, but it's not the same. When you
Right.
roll into that pro class, there's a bigger expense, and now money
Hmm.
is on the line. There's money on the
Right.
line. That guy's not going to let you pass.
Right. Right.
I mean, I can see some of the guys get a little frustrated as aggressively when a Joel Hetrick goes by you. He doesn't just pass you. He freaking moves you out of the way and
Oh
goes
yeah.
by.
Right. Right. Yeah,
And
because I mean, he's not going to slow down. I believe he's going to try and show everybody just what he can do this year.
well, since Denton,
Hmm.
you'd be the first one to do three in a row, isn't it?
Chad had his 8. I
But it,
believe
no, I
what's
don't
that?
think Brad ever went three in a row.
He won, so I believe it was 13. Now he did quite a few in a row. Because Joel,
I could be
what's that?
wrong. I could be wrong.
I believe Joel only disrupted him in, what was it? Well, obviously Joel has a few in a row, has a few now. Um, what was it, 2017?
I'm not sure.
I believe 17 was Joel's first one. And
Chad did four or five in a row.
yeah, yeah, I was gonna say I believe his first
He
one
did.
was in 13 and he did 13 for, yeah, I think six, at least 16.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Denton did the eight and
Hmm.
Chad did five.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
So,
mistaken.
right. So unless something drastically happens, I mean, you can't take anything away from Joel. He is the fastest guy on an ATV in the world right now.
Oh, totally. There's
I
nobody
mean,
out there faster than he
right.
is.
I mean, we go overseas to the Quad Cross of Nations, and all three of our guys are just way out in front compared to everybody else.
What do you think it's going to be like? I know we're jumping the gun a little bit.
Mhm,
If we keep on this pattern,
mhm,
we're going to be Hetrick, Ford, Hogue going
mhm,
over this
mhm.
without Chad.
Right. Um, I mean, I think we will fare just fine. But the one thing is with Chad is he is he is a big part of that team as well. Chad is a big part of why this Team USA even exists.
Yeah, but
So with
I love Chad.
mhm,
I think he's a great champion and an icon in the sport, but
mhm.
he is going to age out.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be weird not having him there is all. But unfortunately, the way as everything is unfolded, it's I don't think we're gonna see him there this year.
Yeah, I haven't even got an update from him in a few weeks. Uh,
Hmm.
I hope that not only is he getting better physically, but he's getting better mentally as well,
You can
because
only hope so, yeah.
he's not in an injury that doesn't just affect your body, it affects your mind as well.
Right, right, right.
You
Yeah.
know, it, you know, and you never want to say it, but I think it's career changing.
Hmm. Well, look what happened the last time he had an injury related to this. I mean, it was when he came back from that this dominant Chad came out.
He's also a lot younger,
He was
almost 10 years.
over 10 years.
Okay, so that's 20, 28, 27
Right,
years old,
right.
okay, versus 38 years old. I know
Yeah,
you're still a young man, you don't get it. You know, I mean, you get past 35, you think, I'm still good.
right,
The closer you get to 40, you're just like, whoa, things are changing. This is not
right,
cool.
right. Things don't heal like they used to.
That's the whole part of it. They
Right,
don't feel the same, you
right.
know. And you can judge it by, you cut your hand or something like that. And that used to just in a day or two, 3 days,
Hmm.
it was almost healed.
Yeah,
Now it's 2 weeks later and it's just starting to, get to where it's healed. Uh,
right.
so everything on the healing process slows down. And um, but you know what the bonus he has? He's just phenomenal condition.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he looks a lot smaller than he used to, but he has a lot of usable muscle in that body.
You just look
He's
at how
one
fat.
strong dude.
Oh, I bet he is. I bet he is.
Hmm.
We'll just have to see, you know. We'll just have
Yeah,
to see.
yeah.
I was asking somebody, maybe was I asking you that do you see? No, it wasn't you, but do you see
Okay.
anybody, Joel, here recently in the near future?
I mean, not necessarily. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, if he keeps going the way he's going, training the way he is,
yeah.
and fighting the way he is, you watch him ride some of these sections on the track, and
Hmm.
Sheen and him are one.
Right, right,
It kicks one way or the other. He's just naturally flowing with it and
right,
making the machine work underneath him, and it's incredible.
right. I mean, not to start stirring the rumor mill, but what are the chances that this dude is part cyborg at this point?
I'm from an alien species that we haven't seen.
Some of the things that we've seen him do in especially the last two races, it's just how are you human?
He just spends an astronomical amount of time on that machine to be
Oh,
one.
right, right. It's just insane though. I mean, from the wheel taps and the rollers in Texas to the way he was going through these rough sections at Echeconnee. I mean, it's just your jaw hits the ground every time.
One of the things that we're not talking about is we're not talking about the crew that works on his machine.
Oh,
that's
right.
his shock guy, his tire guy, his engine guy, his race
Hmm.
mechanic. I mean, all of
Hmm.
these people deserve, to be patted on the back
Hmm.
and what a great job they're doing, because
Right.
he has to have the utmost trust in making it all happen to
Hmm.
that level.
Right. Right. And I mean, that's just it is you've got David Eller at Phoenix Racing, who is, he's putting together a very strong team. He's had the very strong team on the ATV side for years, but now that he's putting together a force with the dirt bike world as well, which is where he comes from. And I know one or two guys on the dirt bike side that are good people, but I mean, Joel's got has his mechanic Gary. He's got Jim, which Jim as well, who also helps out Joel's program, and he's a phenomenal guy. I mean, you got two very smart, very good mechanical guys right there at the track with you. And Gary's the one that's building all the bikes at the shop and taking care of everything. I mean, he's got a very good crew behind him.
Yes, he does. And
Hmm.
hey, see who else was in the pro class?
Are we talking about Grayson?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
XC2, Mr.
Hmm.
Consistent in XC2, always
Right.
finishing on the podium the last two
Hmm.
seasons. And now, bam, now he's in the pro class at the motocross race.
Right,
Uh,
right,
a little bit of John Galetta Jr. Rolling out, watched him do it. So now I can go do it.
right, right. And obviously Grayson and John, they're really good friends too. But yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Grayson at the racing in moto. It's been a few years. Um, I want to say the last time he raced a full season was 2020, and that was in Pro-Am, I believe. And I mean, yeah, I mean, he came out, he made his pro debut. I don't know if we will see him at another race. His for being gone that long, his speed wasn't there with the top five guys, especially. But you could see later on in those motos, you could see where his XC2 experience was coming out because I don't I didn't look at his lap times, but I bet you his lap times were damn near dead nuts the same every single lap because people started slowing down, and here comes Grayson right through. He
Right.
never skipped a beat.
I was impressed. I really was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gelato rides for Team Phoenix, doesn't he?
Yep, yep. He is supported by Phoenix on the cross country side of things. I don't know if he's because I do believe John plans to do some motocross races this year. I don't know if he will be running some sort of Phoenix backing with that as well or not.
I'm sure. I'm sure they will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Totally think they will do that. That's
Right,
pretty
right.
tough, you
Right. And
know.
like I said, I mean, the Phoenix team, they're really great people. So I wouldn't see I could see him running some Phoenix graphics and stuff like that on the moto side as well.
I'm sure that he would. I can't
Hmm.
see him not, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Leon, I want to thank you so much for all that you do for me and do for
Absolutely.
everybody in races.
Yeah.
JJ are a force to be reckoned with, and I just want to thank you and
Hmm.
4130 for being there for us.